Here at Headlight Revolution, we have been dying to get our hands on a set of the Morimoto XB LED Toyota 4Runner headlights, and they are finally here. In fact, this is the first set ever made, and we got our hands on it, and today I'm going to show you guys how to install them, and more importantly, what they look like compared to your stock headlights that came in your Toyota 4Runner. So let's get started. So the first step in getting these headlights installed is actually removing the bumper off the front of your 4Runner, and the easiest way to do that is to start with the wheel liners, pull these 10mm bolts out like so. Now we've got these plastic clips that hold the liner on, and the easiest way to get them off is with a flat pry tool. Flat screwdriver will work too. Just reach under here like so, and just pop the fender liner toward the middle of the vehicle. Like that. Do that on both of these. As you'll see, the whole thing comes free just like so. Now's a really easy time to reach in and unplug your fog light too. So just take your hand, reach in here. This one's already got aftermarket fog lights. It looks like it's a Baja Designs fog light, and it unplugs just like this. Yours will probably be like this H11 connector here, and this one comes apart just like so. Now we've got a couple more 10mm bolts holding this bumper on underneath. There's one right here, and then one toward the center right here. And this is the same for both sides, so what I'm showing you on this side is the exact same, just on the other side. So take your 10mm socket, reach under here, remove this 10mm bolt as well. After removing these two 10mm outer bolts here, you're going to find that there's two more right under the grill, and go ahead and remove those now. So at this point we can go ahead and pop the hood. And the first thing we're going to remove is this plastic valance here up top. It's a bunch of plastic clips and they remove pretty easily. I'll show you how. Starting on the driver's side, I'm just going to push these in and pop it out like so. Now I'm going to warn you right now, when you press in on these and get it out of this valance, it is so easy for this thing to pop up and go flying into the engine bay, flying across the shop. You'll understand when you're doing this, so just keep a hand over it while you do that. It'll save you a lot of headache. With all those clips removed, you can finally remove this plastic valance piece and set it off to the side. So there's one push clip next to each headlight, and then there's four down here below the grill. So starting with the one on the headlight on the passenger side, get under it, pry the center piece up, then pull the whole thing out. We've got the same style clip down here. Get under it like so, pop the whole thing out, and just work your way across. Finally, we've got this last little plastic clip here right by the headlight. Go ahead and pop it out just like we've done the other 5. Now we've got this one final 10mm bolt here right in the center. Go ahead and remove that. And we're finally at the point where you can remove the bumper from this Toyota 4Runner. The easiest way to do it is to reach down here in the wheel liner area, grab the upper corner of the bumper like so, peel it out toward you. You're going to feel a little bit of resistance, and that's perfectly normal. And just pull like so. There's no elegant way to do it. Comes right off like that. With the other side released, you can go ahead and pull it towards you just like so, and set it off to the side. Now the last step of disassembling this truck is actually removing the original headlights. There are 3 more 10mm bolts that we have to deal with. There's one on the outside firing in, one up top, and one right here. Starting with the one on top, remove it just like so. Remove the one on the inside. Finally, remove the third bolt. There's one more hidden fourth bolt under this plastic trim piece here. Go ahead and remove it like so. Go ahead and lift up on the headlight, pull it toward you, and disconnect all the wiring harness. Go ahead and remove all the connectors here from the wire harness. We can throw this thing away. Now, Morimoto includes this fuse tap harness here, and it allows you to get the DRL function working properly on your Toyota 4Runner headlight. And the easiest way to install it is just to unhook the fuse box lid right here. I'll show you guys right where it connects. Go ahead and remove the 10 amp heated mirror fuse from the fuse box and install the supplied fuse tap in that very same location. Now you can route the wires to the outside of the fuse box and close the lid over it. Now that we've got our DRL harness ran right up here, we can install our Morimoto XB LED headlight. Go ahead and bring it back to the vehicle just like how we removed the original headlight. And we've got a few plugs here to deal with. Go ahead and reconnect all of your factory connections to all of the connections in the back of the headlight, like so. Now this little blue wire with this connector right here is what connects our DRL harness to the headlight. Connect it like so. As you can see, everything's plugged in, plumbed properly. We can go ahead and reinstall the headlight. Now these two plugs on the back are the only things that confuse people. This is for the sequential turn signal feature. If you leave it unplugged like this, you'll have a sequential scrolling turn signal. It's really cool. A lot of people like that. If you don't like that, if you want a solid on, solid off turn signal, simply plug these two connectors together like so, and you'll have a solid on, solid off turn signal. You can access this wiring from the engine bay right here, so not a huge deal if you want to change it later, but just a heads up. Go ahead and reinstall the headlight. Now with the headlight mostly reinstalled, I'm going to run in and turn everything on, low beam, high beam, turn signal, make sure everything functions properly, make sure it's just how I want it before I bolt everything back up. Now as you can see, everything powered up just fine. We've got our two outer projectors here for our low beam. Those came on just fine. They look super clean and crisp. And then this inner projector here is for your high beam. So all three will be on when you switch to high beam. We've got this nice clean DRL on the outside here, which also serves as our turn signal. And honestly, for a full housing swap for your Toyota 4Runner, you couldn't pick a better option. To be fair, there aren't really any other options out there. You've got a beautiful cutoff line. I'm going to show you guys that in a second in the studio. And this high beam is ridiculous. So I'm going to button this thing up. I'm going to slap the bumper back on it. We're going to put it against the wall in the studio and see just how much brighter the XB LED headlight is compared to stock. So we've got our factory low beams firing against the wall right now in our Toyota 4Runner, and as you can see, they're exactly what you're used to. You've got 360 lux, which is your usable light output. It's the best measurement of how bright a particular light is, and in this case 360, not the greatest. Let's see what the XB LEDs look like. So now with our XB LED low beam pointed against the wall, you can see just how much brighter these things are. Not only are they almost 4 times brighter at 1490 lux, we've got a beautiful cutoff line. This is going to imitate some of the higher end cars that you see on the road today, like the Audis, the BMWs, the things with the laser style cutoff line, the light exactly where it needs to be, absolutely no glare above that cutoff line. You're not going to be blinding oncoming traffic. If that's something you're concerned with, it will not happen here. And man, as you can tell, this thing completely transforms the style of the light output coming out of the front of your 4Runner. Now let's hop on over to high beam, see how that does. So the factory high beam on the 4Runner isn't terrible. As you probably know, it actually redeems the low beam a little bit. This came in at 1240 lux. We've got a lot of flood up top. We pick up a little bit more light on the left and right. It's a typical high beam. Let's head on over to the XBs and see how they do. Now the XB LED headlight high beam came in at a whopping 2870 lux. Compared to the 1240 that these vehicles came with, that is insane. It's well over 2.5 times brighter. And honestly, it's got a nice, tight, crisp high beam pattern. It's very, very low to that cutoff line. It's gonna fire way down the road. If you're on a back road at night and you need to hit the high beam switch, you will not be disappointed when you do so with the XB LED headlights. As you can absolutely tell, those Morimoto XB LED headlights are a major upgrade over stock. Now, if you're looking for something that's equally as impressive, I've got a video on a 4Runner just like this one, where I show you guys how to get 4 of the world's brightest reverse lights ever installed in the back of one of these. It takes about 15 minutes and is worth every penny. Check that out. I also got a video showing you guys how to do the KC Highlights Pro 6 bar up front, and that thing looks really cool on a 4Runner like this one. So if you're interested in any of that, visit our website, headlightrevolution.com. Thanks for watching.